Oh, Middlesbrough don't usually do very well at Deepdale, but that was a great performance. And just check out that. Some of the best fans I've seen at Deepdale in ages, says a Preston fan. Welcome back to 20 minutes of Boro chat. We've got Craig, Sarah, Jonathan, and Sean fresh back from Preston North End to share their views on what was a very entertaining game. Lots of talking points to come out of it. Not necessarily all good ones either. Let's focus on a couple of them. We're going to be talking about that Whittaker criticism and was Rob Edwards right to have a go back at the fans? We're talking about the effing brilliance of Nypan when he came on, what a game changer he is. And, of course, asking the team to grade the transfer window. Is it a 10 out of 10 for the Boro? And plus, big question for you all. Would you rather see Boro being promoted at the end of the season or England win the World Cup? Get ready to put your comments in on that one. I think I'm going to predict which way that's going to go, but we'll see. Right then, Craig, welcome back from Preston. What's your overall view of the performance?
I come away happy overall. Yeah, I was really happy, especially after the first half performance. We didn't really start well. It started quite sluggish. We got caught out a few times. And I think the second half they came out, a couple of changes, and they really kicked on and played some good football. So it's a tough place to go, isn't it? Preston, they're such a hard team. They're just physical and they bully you. And they were throwing players on the floor, and like just for the crack. And it was like, all right, then just play on. Do you know what I mean? It was like, but overall, I took a point. Yeah, happy with that.
Cheers, Greg. So is it fair to say that a Carrick side, once that Preston second goal had gone in, would have just crumbled and accepted a 2-1 defeat?
I think the Carrick side of this previous 6 months might have. It's a hard one because that's caused a bit of a fuss on social media as well, whether that would have happened. But that side did actually do that, to be fair. So yeah, it was surprising to me how we came back. I mean, we talked about the differences of actually dealing with going behind. We went behind twice on Saturday, and yeah, we never. And even when we went to 2-2, we still tried to look for a third with a few minutes left, which is a little bit unheard of for us. So yeah, I was happy with the reaction.
Yeah, ugliest goal the second one as well.
Beautiful.
Not going to be in the classic DVD collection. And we'll stop talking about Carrick now. I promise. I know it's mean of us to Right, Jonathan, let's give you the controversial one then, shall we? So Whittaker gets substituted, the fans cheer. Were you one of those in the Deepdale end cheering?
No. Look, I didn't like Whittaker's performance, and I'm sure he didn't either. He's not. He wasn't firing on all cylinders by any stretch of the imagination, and it was right to substitute him. And no, I don't do the booing and the pantomime stuff that some of the fans get involved in. I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. I don't know. Edwards called him out at the end of the game, didn't he? But I got my issue. Yeah.
He said, "I don't want to see that response when I'm making a substitution. We're a family. If we're going to achieve something, we've got to be together. We protect our own. We look after our own." But I mean, devil's advocate, Jonathan. It's not like he's a new player who's had 5 games and we're getting on his back too early. This is a player who was signed in January for quite a lot of money, and don't forget, you're still playing Plymouth off for that. Who's been given lots of chances, hasn't he?
Yeah, he started every game, so he's a mainstay in the team, So, and he's shown us glimpses of what he can do, but just not consistently. So he's got no real credit in the bank with the fans, because he's not delivered against his price tag yet. And one of the things that quote doesn't say on there is Edwards said in that he said you're entitled to your opinion, and I don't mind that. That's fine. But what you can't do then is then say, but you can't say that or have that opinion, or you can't show that. So. I'm not too sure about that. I think Edwards is right to say I didn't like what the fans did, but I'm not sure he's right to say, but I don't want you to do that, please. Because, fans are binary, they like it or they don't like it. It's black and white. If you win, you're great. If you lose, you're rubbish. If you do a good pass, you're the greatest player. If you do a rubbish pass, you're the worst player. So, there's an internal situation to be dealt with there with Whittaker, and I think Edwards will do a job. But I'm not sure you call the fans out in that way and say you're entitled to your opinion and then tell them what their opinion should be or how they should behave. I don't think you should do that.
Cheers, Jonathan. Sean, you're obviously big in sports journalism world, not just in football, in boxing as well. Have you ever known it this early and managers start at a club to call out the fans?
I think he's very passionate, and again, I agree with Jonathan. He's got to be really careful and walk a fine line with telling the fans what to do when they pay their money. We can all agree that it doesn't really help. My issue, the problem I have with it is what are they looking to achieve? If there's an aim to it, fine, but there's no good going to come of it. Like, what are you expecting him to do? Because I don't think he's the kind of player that you will fire him up. So yes, there's plenty of criticism that should come his way, but I think we've got to find a better way. And I think Edwards is really passionate, and he probably overstepped the line with a couple of words in that interview because he felt so vehemently defensive of his team, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. And look, we all wish Morgan Whittaker well, and he lives on Instagram, and I don't think his girlfriend helps as well. Just to put it out there as well. She always has a few things to say.
But can I say as well, like, I get it if we were struggling. I get it if we were in a bad situation. We've got 13 points out of 15 and we're having a go at a player. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, I've not been a fan of Morgan Whittaker for quite some time. He hasn't really shown us enough or anything, actually. But that's beside the point. The manager's picked him. He's gone on the pitch. Whether we believe he's given... I do agree we have a right to... Well, yeah. I suppose I agree we have a right to give our opinion. I just don't get it in this moment, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, normally it comes when there's like a toxic environment, doesn't it? When teams are struggling and fans are upset. But you can't... I don't know how you can be that upset, like I think what Sarah's alluding to, when things are going so well. If you think, he's not performed very well, he's not been great, but do we really want to cheer when he comes off? When
you listen to T's radio phone in, or they read out the emails after the game, right? And you listen to the opinion on that, and they're not exactly the most football intelligent quotes that you'll ever come out with there. So your fans aren't what's the word? You can be criticised too. I think that's fair enough. But what I dispute is you can't say you're entitled to your opinion and then tell them what that should be.
I never saw him say that, actually. I never saw him say that. But I guess if he said that, that's a contradiction, of course.
Do you not think
if I was Whittaker as well, he's in good company. You know what? I had a quick look before we did this recording, and Modric voted the worst signing in Real Madrid history after his first season. Ronaldo got booed, Messi got booed. And Beckham 98 is a classic, isn't he? He got absolutely pilloried. So you can take some heart from inspiration from that and say, right, let's see what you're made of. Out of adversity comes, let's see.
Okay. Some names you've got there. Right. Morgan Whittaker. Okay. Right. And by the way, if you've just found this Boro podcast and it's the first time you listen to it, it's just 20 minutes. I know there's much longer you can listen to, but it's 20 minutes reviewing everything that's gone on in the last 7 days for Boro. So thanks very much for being with us. Drop us a quick subscribe if you haven't done so already. Right, let's switch gears then a bit, Craig, and let's talk about the players that did impress. And starting with this fella, Alex Scott says, Sverre Nypan has the world at his feet. He is simply that good. Jack Boro fan says he changed the game immediately when he came on. Imagine him when he's settled and fully up to speed. Yeah, and I think we've all seen the highlight of when he came in the Preston box and laid it off that goal. Wow, yeah. You've got some player on your hand here, haven't you? Don't fall in love with a lone player, though.
Yeah, that's the tagline. He's he looks an absolute find, that boy. I mean, is he 19? But he looks mature as well. He looks strong. He wasn't scared. He got the ball when there was players tight to him. He went deep for the ball. When he went forward with a purpose. Tried to create. He looks a hell of a player. And I think because he looks so good, I think that's kind of maybe adding to the frustration of the fans because Whittaker's still starting. If that makes sense. If you've got someone whose form's not great, and you've got someone who looks like, Jesus, who have we signed here? Do you know what I mean? So I think that might contribute to it. But yeah, him and I don't know if we're going to mention him as well, but Strelech, when he came on, I thought I might be kind of, I don't know what the word would be, being a bit too giddy about him. But his touch and the way that he walked around the pitch reminded me of Alan Boksic. Like he just he had just calmness, an attitude about him as well. Like, no, this is my pitch. This is where I work. And his touch and some of the little passes he played, and some of the dirty looks he gives players that when he didn't get the ball, I thought, you've only been here a week. How can you give a ball to him? And it wasn't the best ball. And he looked at him as though what you doing? What was that? Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking you've only been here a week, and Hackney's our Teesside boy. But so yeah, I think them two are going to be real finds.
Yeah, we were going to come on to him, but we'll do it now. Sarah, first minutes in a Boro shirt for David Strlelech.
Yeah,
how impressed were you?
The same as Greg, I suppose. That's a great shout about Boxic. He actually even runs around like him, because he doesn't sort of waste a lot of energy. He's sort of always watching the game. He's moving. It was interesting that he played in the 9 position, because I expect him to play still as a 10, but we'll see how that develops, because Conway moved out wide, I noticed. But yeah, he just looks, he looks a unit first and foremost. He's a big lad. And yeah, he just doesn't seem to waste a lot of energy. He's quite, what's the word? He's quite intentional with what he does, and very impressed with. It's 45 minutes, but very, very impressed. And I think there's a lot to come from Nypan, Strelech, I think they say it, how you pronounce it, and Conway.
Right. Do correct me every week, because I get
Sorry.
that wrong then. That's all right. Right then, Jonathan, back to you then for Daryl Lenihan, please. Yeah, first start in 722 games. Days. There was a tweet that said we're going to miss seeing him sat in the dugout areas. Some fans have got to know him really well on there, and of course your tweet there. Yeah, Lenihan, Fry, and Jones. Nothing against Ayling, but that would be ideal. Yeah, is that what you want to see against West Brom?
Yeah. It sounds like Fry's got an injury though, so I'm not sure what Edwards was alluded to that yesterday. So I don't know how serious that is, but yeah, chuffed to bits that Lenihan's back. I've been a fan of his for a long time now. He's got leadership qualities. He's exactly the type of player you want on the pitch. So I'm glad he got through more than 90 minutes, wasn't it? So, and I thought he played well for a first game back, and he must be chuffed to bits, because it must have been hard as hell these last however many months it was, being out on the sidelines and fighting injury. And then to come back and show that, what he did, I thought it was really good. So I enjoyed it. Glad to see him back in the team.
Okay. Now we are proud on here to put up, Sean, all the good tweets and some tweets that I'm sure some fans have written just for reactions. So here's one that you might. Woke says we are awful again without his eyes. I tell you, he didn't play well again that Southampton Portsmouth game really I watched. But did you miss him at all?
Presumably they didn't watch him for Ireland against Armenia either. So no, I don't think we're missing him too much. And as the guys have said, Strelech and Nypan and even Hansen came on. He's a bright player. We can change the game now. And I think we were too heavily reliant. I think too often Carrick put us as there and sort of, said, go and get a goal or an assist, and it weighed heavy. So we've got goals in different departments. I think we've got 7 or 8 different scorers this season already. And I think what was great as well is to see the likes of, sometimes people think 3 at the back is quite negative, but Target obviously scored and Britain had the ball in the net, albeit it was offside. So we've got players getting in the box. And we were trying to win it. It's great to see the intent.
Okay. Right then, Craig. Top of the league still. Unbeaten still. Only just. West Brom on Friday night under the lights. How do you see this one going?
They've got a bit of form. They're doing other 5th or 6th. So
yeah, they just got beat up Derby, didn't they? The week.
Yeah. So they're a tough team. They've always been like a good championship team and a tough team to play. But Friday night under the light, it should be a good atmosphere. Edwards has been, he put a little message out, didn't he, about a week ago, kind of like promoting the atmosphere because it's his first kind of night match. Did a little seductive video, didn't he? And he's so but I think 2-0, 2-1. Yeah, okay. I think we'll win it.
All right. The last time we chatted on here was before the international break, Sarah, and the transfer window was just about to close. Yeah. So we need to wrap that up now in our discussions by asking all of you to give a grade 1 to 10, 10 being it couldn't go any better. Sarah, where do you... I've seen some Boro fans saying it's a 10 out of 10 and no one says anything different. Are you...
And I think I would have said that, but I think 9 is probably, and it's still high, but I think 9 for me. I think we've brought in 11 players. We've literally replaced an entire team. I just think I just was missing maybe a goalkeeper, maybe a right back. I think the goalkeeper for me still feels a bit risky. We've got a goalkeeper who has our number 2 at the minute. That, yeah, I'm not so confident. If anything happened to Bryn, we would be ideal. So yeah, but 9 for me.
Yeah. Well, thank you for Mark Travers, by the way. We're enjoying him. Jonathan?
Yes, sitting on your bench, that makes no sense. Okay.
He's learning, all right, learning.
Yeah.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I'd say 10. And, the reason, a couple of things. Sean mentioned, we've got players, impact players that can come off the bench now. We've got, kind of Hackney can actually come off and Brown replaced him. And, what was else I was going to say? So, yeah, I liked what he's done, to be honest with you. It was a lot of players coming in, but all what you wanted to see, to be quite blunt. And I think the biggest thing, don't miss a Zaz or Rav. They were 2 players who were high on people's attention list last season, in terms of, first names on the team sheet. But we brought so many good players in, barely giving them the pair of them a thought, to be honest with you.
Okay. So it's a 9, is it, or a 10?
10.
A 10. Okay. Sean?
I'm just going to say 8. Hopefully it'll rise to a 10, but I always dive in and think we've had an amazing window, and then some of the sort of younger players sometimes don't quite live up to it. I mean, last season I remember being really excited at the likes of sort of Gilbert and Hamilton and stuff like that, and they haven't quite hit the heights. I think we've seen enough of most of them to know that they're going to be good players, but it'd be just nice to revisit in a few months and sort of, be able to say that they've ticked every box that we wanted. But we've fulfilled all the positions more or less, barring maybe a keeper like Sarah said. But yeah, I think it's been a good window.
Okay, Craig.
Yeah, high, probably a 9. Yeah, probably about a 9, maybe a 9.5. Yeah, I think.
Even though Howson wasn't given a new contract, he's still...
No, that's what. If we'd have kept him, that's bigger news than Hackney, innit? So I'd have went
11.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm still not over that, but we've covered places that we need to. We've got some players out, like Balassa Force have gone out on loan. The players that have come in look good so far, and I know Target's only on loan, but I know there's another signing hopefully coming in January. The American left back. So yeah, it looks so far so good. So I'd give it a 9.
And you have to say Scott's come back from adversity as well, because by his own admission, January was rubbish. He didn't have a good window then, and he's come back real strong in the summer. So I'm pleased for him as well, to be honest with you, because he's had a fair bit of stick from the fans on social media, and he's kind of stuck it to them, really, hasn't he? And
I think that's also what makes our start so impressive as well, going back to that, because we've brought in an entire new team of players. So, once they do really gel, because there's still a lot of, I mean, we saw that against Preston, that the front 3 didn't quite connect, although I suppose 2 of them were but Sene struggled a little bit, and that gave a problem for Hackney and Morris. I do think that once some of these players gel, it will be even better, at least our attacking, the attacking part of our game. So it's all good.
Yeah, they've come in late. Sorry, I'm sorry. I was just about to say they've come in late as well. Like we didn't do much business early on, and it was on. What did we sign 3 or 4 players in the last couple of days?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to take some time for them to click as well. So with the start we've got, and once those players settle in and click, yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, I think, and he was right to say, wasn't he, Edwards, about Sene playing in that position on Saturday, and it didn't particularly work out. And I don't hold Sene responsible for that. It's I think Edwards did particularly pick the right formation to start with, but got it right in the second half, and we played a lot better. So I don't hold the players in the first half responsible. They didn't particularly have the best of ours, but I think that was more on Edwards than it was on the team, I have to say.
Okay. Right then, now the 4 gentlemen on here are probably of a similar age. I mean that we haven't got many years left to watch England win a World Cup. Sarah's got a few more honours. As in you're much younger. Yeah.
I don't think that's correct, Mark. Just
okay. Well, we'll go with it.
Yeah, go with it.
Chivalry.
So surely, when we put to them England winning a World Cup, they would choose that over anything. Let's test that theory, Craig. It's May. You're in the playoff semi-final. And you're going to beat, I don't know, you're going to beat Coventry 3-0, okay, and you're going to get promoted, okay? You can have that, or you can have June, the following month, in America, England winning the World Cup. Which one would you?
No, I'm at Wembley with my kids. I'm having the best weekend of my life. Like, yeah, those memories, like that Cardiff, when we were at Cardiff, Eindhoven, I know Eindhoven ended really badly, but those days when you're at Wembley, it's like, it's memories that you'll take forever. So, yeah, absolutely. Wembley with the family.
Sarah?
I'm not going to be in Wembley. I'm going to be in Wrexham, Craig, because we're going to go up automatically. It's club for me. I'm sorry. For me, it just lives longer, doesn't it? I mean, as much as I really want England to win at World Cup, of course. I would. Club. I would want to be in the Premier League, and I want to be either at Wrexham or Wembley, as Craig just alluded to.
Okay, Sean.
Yeah, exactly the same. You can't. I don't think you can match the intimate connection you have with your club. It's different. I'd love England to do well, but you can't beat a final of a Boro or going up or whatever.
4 for 4, Jonathan.
Yeah, it has to be. I enjoy England doing well at the World Cup, of course, but all of us invested our time, our money, our emotion in following the Boro. So our nice reward would be promotion. So yeah, I'd love it. I'd love to have your lad with me too. That'd be great.
All right. If you're a Boro fan that agrees with that club over country, drop us a quick like. I want to find, and if you're not, if you're for England, let us know in the comments. I want to find at least one Boro fan that would want to see England do well. I mean, look, you can have it every year. You'll go up eventually, surely. It only happens every 4 years.
You know what? I'm not bothered about playing Premier League teams. Like, I don't want to play in the Premier League. I just want the memories of winning something.
You know what I thought on Saturday? Preston were a solid team and all that, but I thought if they just had a better ball and they were a bit more class, they would have put 2 or 3 against us on Saturday, no problem. But they were just a solid team. They didn't have the finesse of of that. So I'm a bit with you, Craig. It's like I'd love to go to the Premier League, but bloody hell, it's the right step up.
Right then. Well, we'll be watching you live on Friday night. Make sure it's a good one. I always sit there with my fish and chip supper, watching hopefully a good match on Friday. So make it a good one. We'll review that in 7 days' time as well. We're also talking about the best of the current squad as we go through each of the sections and decide what we might need for Christmas. So join us for that as well. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Sean. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you after West Brom are visited.